Hello and welcome to another exam paper walkthrough. Today we're going to be continuing with our half paper series, and I'm going to be looking at the higher papers today. So this is a half paper taken from Edexcel, so they produce these, and this is taken from practice set 1A. So they produced practice set 1 and then they split it into two evenly weighted papers. This is paper 1. The description to this video, there will be a Google link that will take you to a copy of this paper. I would recommend that you download and have either done it already or you do it alongside the video. I'd also recommend you have some music on in the background just to help the time pass a little bit. And if you find this useful, please subscribe if you like. Okay, so let's kick off. Question 1 then. The height h of a table has been measured as 72 centimetres correct to the nearest centimetre. Complete the following statements to show the range of possible values. Okay, so the information we're given here is that it's been rounded to 72 as opposed to 71 or 73. So the smallest possible value it could be would be 71.5. Whoops, the daisy. And the largest it could possibly be would be 72.5, although technically speaking we would round that up. But with the use of the inequality symbols, that works perfectly because that reads h is greater than or equal to 71.5 but less than 72.5. Okay, question 2. Write the following numbers in order of size, starting with the smallest. So these are they're implying standard form, but they're not all in standard form. The most straightforward way to do this is to convert them all into standard form. So this is going to become 3.8 times by 10 to the, and we need to move it up 2 places. So that would be times 10 to the 4. It wouldn't, I'd be taking 2 off, so that would be actually to the 0. Yeah. This one would be 3.8 times by 10 to the, and I'm moving it 3 places, so that would be minus 1. This would be 3.8 times 10 to the 2, and this would be to the minus 1. That would be 3.8 times 10 to the minus 2. So if I'm putting those in size order, then the smallest one there is going to be this one, which started out as this. So 0.38 times by 10 to the minus 1. That's my smallest. My next smallest one is going to be this one here then. So 3,800 times by 10 to the minus 4. We've then got my next smallest is going to be this one, which would be 0.038 times by 10 to the 2. And then finally, we've got 380. Okay, question 3. Let's zoom out on that a little bit. Right, translate shape P by a vector of 5 minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to pick a point to look at where that would move to. So that point there is going to move 5 means that 5 that way, and minus 2 means 2 down. So I'm moving 5 across, so 2, 4, 5 across. That's 2, 4, 5 across, and 2 down. So that's going to move to there. And then I can just recreate or redraw the shape from there. And then I'm going to try and join it up with a ruler. So I haven't got anything fancy. I've got a plastic ruler on top of my laptop screen. So that's going to be my shape. It doesn't tell us to label it, so that would be absolutely fine. For the second part, describes fully the single transformation that maps A onto B. While looking at it, I can see kind of the orientation has changed. It's been turned 180 degrees. So the only thing I need to really work out is the center of rotation. And if I join 2 or more like points together, they will cross through the center of rotation. I've not drawn that very well, but you get the idea. So 3 marks, 1 mark for rotation. And the second mark for describing the amount, so that's 180 degrees. I don't need to say clockwise or anti-clockwise because that's the same thing, but I need to say about the point, and that coordinate there is 0, 1. Okay, moving on to question 4. Sahar has a full 600 milliliter bottle of wallpaper remover. She is going to mix some of the wallpaper remover with water. Here is the information on the label. 600 milliliters, mix a quarter of the wallpaper remover with 4,500 milliliters of water. She is going to use 750 milliliters of water. How many milliliters of wallpaper remover should she use? Okay, so in effect, this is our recipe to make 600 milliliters. So if the bottle was 600 milliliters, I'd mix a quarter of that. So that would be 150 milliliters of wallpaper remover with 4,500 milliliters of water. And we want to make 750. So to get from there to there, so 75s go into, so rather than do 4,500 divided by 750, I'm actually doing 450 divided by 75. So my 75 times table is 75, 150, 150, 225, 300, 375, 450. So it's going to go in, what did I say, 3, 2, 4, 6 times. Double checking that in my head. 150, 300. Yeah, so it's going to go in 6 times. So from there, I want 1/6 of that. So in effect, we've divided by 6 there. So I want to divide by 6 there. So I'm doing 150 divided by 6. So 150 divided by 6. And that's going to be 60, 120. So that's going to go in exactly 25 times. So I'd want 25 milliliters. Okay, and question 5. Sasha carries out a survey of 60 students. She asks them how many CDs they each have. This table shows information about the number of CDs the students have. Write down the class interval containing the median. Well, if we've got 60 students being asked, then technically our median is going to be 2. So that's 0.5. So to find the 30th and the 31st value. And to do that, I'm going to keep kind of cumulative frequency. So we've got 8 values that are 4 or less. We've got 8 plus 9, 11. So we've got 19 values that are 9 or less. We've got 28 values that are 14 or less. So we still haven't contained the median. And then we've got 42 that are 19 or less. So the 30th and the 31st must both fall in that value there. So my class interval is going to be 15 to 19. Okay, for the second part, on the grid, draw a frequency polygon to show this information. So frequency polygon, I plot the midpoints. So I'm going to change pen color just for this. So midpoints are 2, 7, 12, 17, and so 8. That's going to be there. My next point is going to be at 7, 11. 7, 11. I've then got 12, 9. And then 17, 14, 17, 14. And then my final point is at 22, 18. 22 and 18 gives me that coordinate there. Then I just need to join just those points up with a straight line. So again, I'm using my plastic ruler on my laptop screen, so that's not overly steady, but you get the idea. I had sorted it so I could use a ruler on the screen, but it's my laptop's not letting me bring it at the moment. So there we go. That's going to be my frequency polygon. Okay, question 6, make Q the subject of the formula. So Q, does it appear twice? It doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 methods because I think both of these are going to look slightly different. So my first step is what I'm going to view as kind of a shortcut method. I'm going to start by dividing both sides by 5. So that will give me q. Try that again. That will give me, if I divide both sides by 5, q plus p is equal to 4 plus 8p divided by 5. And then I'd minus p from both sides. So that would give me q is equal to 4 plus 8p over 5 minus p. And I'll come back to that one in a minute because I'm going to do it the second way over here now. So I'm going to multiply the bracket first of all. Instead of dividing by 5, I'm going to multiply the first bracket by 5. Right, now I'm going to minus 5p from both sides, so that will give me 5q is equal to 3 plus 3p. Not 3 plus 3p, 4 plus 3p. Then I'm going to divide by 5, so q is going to be equal to 4 plus 3p divided by 5, which is simpler than this. If I were to carry this one on, like I said I was going to, I'm going to put this, I can't subtract it unless it's over the same denominator, so that would be the same as 5p over 5. And then now I can subtract my numerators. So 8p minus 5p would be 3p. So there's both methods getting the same answer. Okay, question 7. Expand and simplify. So I'm going to go x times by x would give me x squared. X times by 5 would give me 5x. Minus 3 times by x would give me minus 3x. And then minus 3 times by 5 would give me minus 15. And I collect my middle terms. So I'm looking at x squared plus 2x minus 15. So solve. So I'm going to factorize first of all. I'll show you what I'm doing before I do that though. So when I'm trying to factorize, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to make the back or the number coefficient, and two numbers that add together to make the x coefficient, provided we've got just one x squared here. It's going to go into two brackets, both starting with x, and my two numbers are going to be the pair that works here. So two numbers that multiply together to make minus 9 and add together to make 8. I'm thinking 9 and minus 1. So I'm looking at plus 9 and minus 1, and that's equal to 0. Now, for any two things to multiply together to make 0, one of them has got to be equal to 0. So either x plus 9 is equal to 0, in which case x would be equal to minus 9, or this bracket is equal to 0, in which case x would need to be equal to 1. Okay, question 8. Write down the value of 49 to the power of a half. Well, power of a half means the square root, so it's the square root of 49, which is going to be 7. And part B, write 45 in the form k root 5, where k is an integer. Well, I'm telling you straight away that should have said the square root of 49. So there's a misprint in that. So apologies for that. Those of you who've been thrown out with that before watching the video, that should be root 45. Okay, so we are looking at saying root 45 is equal to the square root of 9 times by 5, because 45 is 9 times 5. Square root of 9 is 3, so we're looking at 3 root 5 for that. Okay, question 8. There are 3 different types of sandwiches on a shelf. There are 4 egg, 5 cheese, 2 ham. Erin takes at random 2 of the sandwiches. Work out the probability that she takes 2 different types of sandwich. So we could do a tree diagram for this. I'm going to do it slightly differently. So the probability that she picks an egg followed by a different one. So if I start with saying that that's going to be 4 out of, and we've got how many types of sandwiches does it say? No, 11, I believe. I'll just double check that. 4 plus 5 plus 2 is going to be 11. Times by the probability of not picking an egg sandwich. Well, now there are only 10 sandwiches. got 7 and not egg. And then I'm going to do a similar process. Probability of her picking cheese is going to be 5 out of 11, and the probability of her not picking cheese is going to be 6 out of 10. And then we're going to carry on with that. I'm going to say probability of picking ham the first time, and then not ham the second time is going to be 9 out of 11, 9 out of 10. Right, so I need to do all this multiplication. I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut though, because as I was writing them, I noticed that all of them can be cancelled down by 2, just to make things a bit more straightforward for me. So I'm going to have a denominator of 55, and then I'm going to do 2 times 7 is 14, 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 times 9 is 9. And then if I add those up, that's going to be 29. That's going to be 29, 38 out of 50. 5. Looking for things that I can cancel down there. I don't think I can, so I'm going to leave it like that. So I'm looking 38 out of 55. Right, question 10. Construct the graph of y is equal to, x squared plus y squared is equal to 9. Okay, so we've got the equation of a circle here. So a circle with a centre of the origin is equal to r squared. So r is going to be 3. So I need a circle that's going to go through these points. You should draw it with a compass. Okay, so I've just brought in a circle, and then I'm going to stretch it out to the right points. Technically, I've brought in an oval at the moment. So you should draw it with a compass. I've just inserted a circle and made sure it goes through the points, through the axes at 3 and -3, obviously. Okay, by drawing a line of x plus y is equal to 1 on the grid, solve the equation. Okay, so the line x plus y is equal to 1. Let's change pen color for this. So it's going to go through the point 1, 0, and 0, 1. So I'm going to try and insert a line through those points. Right, I want that to be red though. Ooh. There we go, and then we're just looking at the points of intersection then. So we've got a point of intersection there, and a point of intersection there. So we're looking at x being equal to, it looks like 2.6. So x is equal to 2.6 and y is equal to minus 1.5. Slightly over actually. That will do fine though. And then for my other values, again, we're looking at minus 1.6. Minus 1, x is minus 1. Let's see if it'll let me write now. Nope. And we're looking at about minus 1.6 and 2.6. There we go. Okay, and question 11. Two shapes A and B are mathematically similar. The base of shape A is a circle of radius 4. The base of shape B is a radius of circle 8. The surface area of shape A is 80 centimeters squared. Work out the surface area of shape B. Okay, so we've got an area surface scale factor of shape A, shape B. We've got an area surface factor of 1 to 2. We could have written that as 4 to 8 and then simplified it down. And that's not area surface area. So that's not area scale factor, that's length scale factor. So we've got an area scale factor of 1 to 2 squared, or 1 to 4. Right, surface area of shape A is 80. So the surface area of shape B is going to be, well, actually I'm going to go that way, times by 4. So 320. Okay, the volume of shape B is 600 centimeters squared. Work out the volume of shape B. So I'm going to kind of carry this ratio table downwards, and so that the volume surface area is going to be equal to 1 to 2 cubed, and we're told that that's 600. So in effect, I want to, from there to there, I'm going to be timesing by 600 divided by 8. So 600 divided by 8, we're looking at 200. Well, 8's going to 60. Let's do the proper division. I'm sure I'm overcomplicating this a bit. I need to divide this by 8 either way. So 8's going to 60, 9. So 8's going to 60, 7 times fully, with 4 left over, and then 8's going to 45 times, so it's 75. So we've times by 75 there. Let's just show it times by 75 there. So 75 centimeters cubed. Okay, before I go, the chapters to this video outlines the topics, but here they are in a nice little table for you, along with the mean percentage of students and the mean percentage of all the marks. So they're suggesting that actually the index notation was the least well scored. It's quite interesting. But yeah, there we go. So hopefully you found that useful. If you have any questions, comments or feedback, please feel free to type it into the chat to this video. I'll get back to you fairly quickly. Thank you for your time in watching. If you found this useful at all, please subscribe if you like.